Welcome to Universal Insight. Please subscribe to my channel and freeze the ball icon baton. I'm sure you've heard the news. Under the harsh grocery store lights, Maria Sanchez stares at her receipt, stunned by the soaring total for her family's weekly essentials. What was once a routine shop now feels like a luxury, as prices for basics like milk and canned tomatoes climb higher each week. This isn't just Maria's struggle. It's a scene playing out in homes across America, the direct result of President Trump's sweeping tariffs. Promised as a way to protect American jobs, the tariffs have instead driven up costs everywhere: groceries, cars, hardware, even mortgages. Families are forced to cut back, dreams put on hold as the economic pressure mounts. In Detroit, the last shift at a small auto parts plant ends in heartbreak, workers packing up decades of their lives, victims of the very policies meant to save them. Retaliatory tariffs and disrupted supply chains have closed factories, leaving communities shattered. The nation, once divided, now shares a growing anxiety as wallets grow emptier and recession fears rise. Economists warn of a downturn, legal experts question the tariffs' legitimacy, and Americans are united by the pain at the checkout line. The bold promises of a trade war have faded, replaced by a grim reality that's impossible to ignore. By September 2025, public opinion has turned sharply against the tariffs. 60% of Americans now oppose them, blaming the policies for rising prices and shrinking paychecks. 77% say tariffs are directly responsible for higher costs, a belief that cuts across party lines. Hopes for relief have vanished. Only 4% expect prices to drop anytime soon. The S&P 500 has lost nearly 19% of its value, shaking investor confidence and retirement savings. Even within the GOP, prominent voices like Mitch McConnell and Mike Pence now call the tariffs a tax on working Americans. The political ground is shifting, as voters and lawmakers alike demand change. The tariff battle has moved from public debate to the courts, where a U.S. Court of Appeals has ruled key Trump tariffs likely illegal. Judges say the administration overstepped, using emergency powers to impose trade barriers without Congress. The White House, facing a legal crisis, appeals to the Supreme Court, warning of economic chaos if the tariffs are struck down. At stake is more than trade policy. It's a fight over who controls America's economic future: Congress or the president. Businesses and industry groups argue the tariffs are an unconstitutional tax on Americans, imposed by executive fiat. Billions in commerce and thousands of jobs hang in the balance as the nation awaits the Supreme Court's next move. The outcome could redefine presidential power for generations. The data is clear. Instead of a manufacturing boom, America faces job losses and stagnation. August's jobs report showed just 22,000 new positions, far below expectations, with manufacturing shedding 12,000 jobs that month alone. Since the tariffs began, 42,000 factory jobs have vanished, and wages have barely budged. Farmers are squeezed by soaring costs for essentials like fertilizer and shrinking export markets, thanks to retaliatory tariffs. Small businesses like Emily Lay's stationery company face survival-threatening import duties as high as 145%. The average U.S. household now pays nearly $2,400 more each year due to tariffs, higher car payments, pricier groceries, and steeper healthcare bills. Even the dream of homeownership is slipping away, with tariffs adding over $10,000 to the cost of a new home. The ripple effects are everywhere, touching every American family. The promise of prosperity has given way to widespread financial pain. Across the country, Americans are taking to the streets, transforming frustration into a powerful movement. Labor Day rallies become protests, with union leaders and workers condemning the tariffs and broader anti-labor policies. Massive demonstrations, hands off. In April, no kings in June. Unite teachers, factory workers, farmers, and small business owners. Their message is clear: tariffs are a tax on families, and trade wars have no winners. The protests are impossible to ignore, putting the White House on the defensive. Public anger is now a political crisis, as millions demand accountability and a new direction. The roar from the streets signals a nation that's had enough. America stands at a crossroads, battered by economic pain, legal battles, and public outrage. The Supreme Court showdown over tariffs could trigger a constitutional crisis, reshaping the balance of power in Washington. The economy teeters on the brink. Job growth is stagnant, manufacturing is in decline, and costs keep rising. Iconic industries face billions in extra expenses, while farmers and small businesses struggle to survive. The stakes are enormous: America's economic health, global credibility, and democratic stability all hang in the balance. Will the administration double down, or will mounting pressure force a retreat? The coming months will decide whether the nation can recover, or if the tariff war's legacy will be lasting hardship and division. The world is watching, and for America everything is on the line.